Alright guys, this is me with another video that nobody's ever gonna watch. But today I'm gonna be talking about Diego Lopes, right? And the reason why I'm talking about Diego Lopes, first of all, is because he's Brazilian. As I've told you guys before in those other videos, I'm gonna be talking about the Brazilian fighters in the UFC roster. But especially because Diego Lopes, I think he's a special fighter. You know, like his run, uh, the way he has this kind of like aura, like this champion aura, and I think he's gonna be a world champion. I really do think he's gonna be a world champion. I know it's really hard for him to beat some guys like Volkanovski or Topuria, even Holloway, whatever. But in the day that I'm recording this video, it's been 2 weeks and a half since Diego Lopes fought Dan Ige on UFC 303, if I'm not mistaken. Bro, that was a sick fight, right? That was like awesome because he was supposed to fight Brian Ortega, right? And I think Brian Ortega didn't made the weight because he was already like trying to move up division and stuff. But then they were supposed to fight on like 2 weeks notice, 2 weeks short notice. I think it was gonna be a great fight for both of them. It was gonna be a war. And then in the day that they went to fight, they went to weigh in. People from UFC told Diego Lopes that he was supposed to fight at not 145 anymore, but 165. No, actually 155. And then he rehydrated, if I'm not mistaken, that's the right way to say it. And then he was not gonna fight Brian Ortega anymore. In like 4 hours for the event, they came up with Dan Ige, like out of nothing, out of nowhere, right? And then they fought. The fight was at 165, but a lot of people said bad things about Diego Lopes just because he didn't finish Dan Ige. Like, oh, so he's not that good anymore. I mean, the hype train is over, whatever. But bro, the guy was supposed to fight another guy. He got the name Dan Ige like 4 hours to the event. He had another fight plan. He had another. He didn't have a camp to that fight, you know. And Dan Ige was in a real camp to fight in like 2 events after that, right? But then Dan Ige short notice, he accepted the fight. They fought. It was a pretty good fight, back and forth. Diego Lopes clearly won round two and round one and round two, right? It was pretty awesome, and it was a good fight actually. And then he lost. He obviously lost the third round, right? But then Ige, you have to remember, he was never finished. Nobody's ever KO'd him or TKO'd him or submitted him, right, in the past, at least until this present moment that I'm recording this video. So bro, I know that a lot of people are not liking the Diego Lopes hype train anymore, just because like he didn't finish Dan Ige, but nobody ever did. You have to remember that, right? And the main thing about it is that Diego Lopes right now has a 4-win streak on featherweight. I mean, this one was not in featherweight. And also have to remember that the other guy, Dan Ige, he didn't have to cut weight. So obviously the situation was kind of like better for him. I don't know if like better is the right word, but you know, it was like more soft for Dan Ige because he wasn't cutting weight, and for Diego it was a crazy week, right? It was a crazy week. Bro, the guy had to cut weight like 2 times and then rehydrate himself. It was brutal, actually. His mindset, maybe a lot of things changed. I don't know, but bro, Diego Lopes is still gonna be a world champion. Believe me when I say this. He's a dog, man. Who would have accepted a fight like he did, you know, in 4 hours notice to a co-main event of the UFC 303, which was already with other fights booked? Bro, this event actually was pretty dark. right? Because first of all, we were supposed to see McGregor against Chandler, and then the fight obviously fell off. And then it was Poatan, Alex Pereira. Bro, Alex Poatan is pretty awesome, but I'm gonna be talking about him in another video. What I want to say is it was a crazy night of these fights getting canceled. I think the co-main event was originally supposed to be Khalil Roundtree against Jamal Hill, but then Khalil Roundtree got off, and then it was Carlos Zulberg, but then Jamal Hill got out of the fight, and then it was Anthony Smith, right? And then Carlos Zulberg got out of the fight, and it was Roman Dolidze. But so I mean, I know that these fights have nothing to do with Diego Lopes fight, but I'm just saying that this event could be a shit, but it wasn't, thanks to, of course, Dainige, Diego Lopes, Alex Poatan Pereira, and of course, Hiri Prohaska. I mean, all of the fights. I told you guys in the last video that I posted, I know that nobody's ever gonna watch these videos, but I have to pretend they are, because I have to pretend that I'm like I don't know, like a YouTuber. Is that the right way to call me? I'm not a YouTuber because nobody's ever gonna watch it, but whatever. And I told you guys, don't sleep on Vinicius Oliveira. He's pretty good, bro. Vinicius Lucky Dog. I think he's also gonna be a world champion, bro. I'm Brazilian. I have to cheer for them anyway. But yeah, Diego Lopes. I'm still hyped for him. I think it was pretty amazing what he did in these last fights, you know, because people forget, man, but Diego Lopes, he finished in sequence, on a sequence. He finished. What was the guy's name? Well, I forgot the guy's name. Oh, Pat Sabatini, and then Gavin Tucker. Actually, I think it was Gavin Tucker, and then Pat Sabatini, and then Sodiq Yusuff. Like 3 of them, all of the first round was pretty awesome. And then now he had this war against Dainige. It was a pretty fight, back and forth, as I told you before. And I think Diego Lopes has I mean, he's skilled, of course, obviously. He has a long reach for that division. He's tall, but I see Diego Lopes kind of like, he reminds me a little bit of like Paulo Costa in the past, you know. I mean, when he throws, he puts so much into it. He puts so much power in his shots that if you got caught with it, if you got caught, bro, you're done. You're literally done. So I think that's what's gonna happen to Diego Lopes in the future. He's gonna probably this way is better, right? I think Diego Lopes is gonna be world champion. That's what I want to say in this video.